In today's session, we shall learn about the biochemical properties of lipid micelles and bilayers and the biological significance of lipids. What are micelles, liposomes and bilayers? Lipids are amphipathic molecules, that is, they have both hydrophilic, that is water-loving, and hydrophobic, that is water-hating parts. Such molecules are also called amphiphiles. They rarely exist as monomers. Hence, they spontaneously form various types of aggregate structures in aqueous environments. Some of these structures are monolayers, micelles, reverse micelles, liposomes, and bilayers. These lipid aggregates are biologically significant as they form the structural basis for biological membranes. Biological membranes define the cellular boundaries and allow cells to exist as separate entities distinct from their environments. Membranes also enclose most of the subcellular organelles. Biomembranes not only form the cellular compartments but also mediate transport of essential nutrients and metabolites into or out of these compartments. The various types of lipid aggregates are shown in the figure that follows. Micelles. A micelle is an aggregate of surfactant molecules, that is amphiphilic molecules, dispersed in a liquid colloid. In aqueous environments, lipids form spherical structures in which the hydrophobic tails are buried in the center of the structure and hydrophilic head groups are sticking out at the surface. This arrangement eliminates unfavorable contacts between water and the hydrophobic tails but permits the solvation of the polar head groups. Micelle formation is a cooperative process. An assembly of just a few amphiphilic molecules cannot protect its tails from water. So, dilute aqueous solutions of amphiphiles do not form micelles until their concentration exceeds a certain critical micelle concentration known as CMC. The value of the CMC depends on the identity of the amphiphile and the solution conditions. Micelles may be categorized into various types based on their shapes, that is spherical micelles, ellipsoids, cylinders, reverse micelles, planar structures, and unilamellar vesicles. Single-tail lipids tend to form micelles. At the air-water interface, the hydrophobic tails of a lipid monolayer avoid association with water by extending into the air. Reverse micelles. Reverse micelles form when amphiphilic molecules aggregate in nonpolar solvents instead of water. In these aggregates, the hydrophilic heads are buried in the core of the micelle and the hydrophobic tails are on the outside interacting with the solvent. Hence, they are also known as inside-out vesicles. Now let us look at liposomes. Liposomes are spherical vesicles made of lipid bilayers. They may be used as vehicles for delivery of drugs and other therapeutic agents into the human body. Lipid bilayers. Double-tail lipids, for example, various types of phospholipids and sphingolipids usually form lipid bilayers. A bilayer has a hydrophobic core and the hydrophilic heads stick out at the surfaces. The bilayer may be divided into outer and inner liplets. The figure here shows the schematic of a lipid bilayer. Phospholipids and sphingolipids form the major components of most biological lipid bilayers. Lipid bilayers exhibit asymmetry. For example, phosphatidylcholine, that is PC, is usually prevalent in the outer liplet, whereas phosphatidylserine, that is PH, is found mostly in the inner liplet. Membrane lipids can have certain types of motion. They can have rotational and lateral mobility. However, flip-flop motion is not thermodynamically feasible. It can occur only with the help of enzymes known as flipases. Fluid mosaic model. The basic structure and function of a lipid bilayer membrane is explained by the fluid mosaic model. The model was proposed by Singer and Nicholson in 1972. This model says that proteins float in a hydrophobic bilayer structure formed by lipids. The major lipids that form the bilayer are various kinds of phospholipids, sphingolipids, and cholesterol. Cholesterol need not always be present. It is more prevalent in animal cell membranes. Carbohydrates may be present in certain membranes but not all membranes. When present, the carbohydrate is also distributed asymmetrically. They are always present on the outer leaflet and never on the inner leaflet. And also, carbohydrate is usually not present in the membrane in the free form. It is present either as part of protein or lipid in the form of glycoproteins or glycolipids. Glycoproteins and glycolipids often form receptors of ligands, for example, hormones. Lipids and proteins present in the bilayer membranes have certain types of mobilities. They may undergo lateral motion and rotational motion, as has been explained earlier. These movements are also known as lateral diffusion and rotational diffusion respectively. Movement of molecules from one leaflet of the bilayer to the other leaflet is not thermodynamically feasible and do not take place spontaneously. Such movements are called flip-flop motion. They only take place with the help of enzymes known as flipases. Cholesterol has dual roles in membrane bilayers. As it is made of a flat fused ring structure, it increases the strength and resilience of membranes. On the other hand, it can wedge between fatty acyl chains, preventing their close packing when temperature goes down. In this manner, cholesterol enhances the fluidity of the membrane. Moreover, unsaturated fatty acids have a kink in their chains, and this also prevents close packing of the lipids when temperatures drop. So, membranes having higher proportions of unsaturated fatty acids would exhibit more fluidity than those with higher amounts of saturated fatty acids. Interestingly, polar bears and reindeer increase the proportion of their unsaturated fatty acids during winter times to maintain the fluidity of the membrane. The lipid bilayer membrane depicting its major lipid and protein constituents is shown schematically in the figure shown here. Another major component of most biological membranes is proteins. The membrane proteins come in three classes, that is, peripheral or extrinsic proteins, integral or intrinsic proteins, and transmembrane or TM proteins. Peripheral proteins are loosely attached to membranes and can be dissociated easily by use of weak detergents. Integral proteins are tightly bound and can only be removed from membranes by use of strong detergents or by complete disruption of membranes. Transmembrane or TM proteins span the membrane and cross the entire span of the bilayer one or more times. Many of these may act as important receptors. Because of the hydrophobic lipid bilayer, most lipid bilayers are semi-permeable. That is, they are impermeable to most molecules except water and small uncharged molecules. Other molecules can only enter or exit through the membrane only with the help of several membrane transport processes. These transport processes may be classified into various categories, that is, simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and active transport. Simple diffusion is also known as downhill process, whereby solutes move from higher concentration to lower concentration, but it does not need an active agent. That is why it is called simple diffusion. Facilitated diffusion is similar to simple diffusion but requires a protein agent which mediates the transport. Active transport generally transports solutes from lower concentration to higher concentration, that is against the concentration gradient, and usually requires an agent as well as an input of energy, for example, ATP hydrolysis. Biological significance of lipids. Lipids are very important biomolecules. They perform several biological roles. These include their functions as energy source and energy storage molecules, their structural roles, providing insulation and shape, protection, lubrication, and transport. They also act as substrates, receptors, enzyme cofactors, vitamins, and other cofactors, and as components of some bacterial cell walls. Some lipids participate in signal transduction as key components in nervous system function and also as emulsifying agents. Let us now discuss the major biochemical functions of lipids. Lipids as energy source. Lipids, especially fats, are excellent sources of energy. 1 gram of fat yields about 9 kilocalories of energy, that is about double the amount given by 1 gram of carbohydrates. Energy storage. Subcutaneous fats and other fat depots act as long-term energy storage molecules. Structural roles of lipids. Phospholipids and sphingolipids form major components of biological membranes. There is a special type of lipid known as myelin, which forms important component of nerve fibers. Lipids form major components of various lipoproteins and glycolipids. Insulation function of lipids. Subcutaneous fat layer also provides thermal insulation, which is especially significant for warm-blooded aquatic animals such as whales, seals, geese, and penguins. Presence of fat in these aquatic animals conserve heat when they live in water during winter times, providing shape and contour. Proper distribution and deposition of lipids in various parts of the body render shape and contour of the body. Fat distribution differs between males and females in humans. This explains significant differences in contour and figure between males and females. Protection function, that is cushioning function. Lipids provide protection to soft and vital organs through cushioning, that is shock absorption effects. Lubrication. In the gastrointestinal tract especially, lipids provide critical lubrication roles in many tissues and organs, for example, cartilages at the joints and inside the gastrointestinal tract. Transport function. Lipids, which exist as constituent of lipoproteins, help transport lipids within the body. Nervous system functions. Many glycolipids, for example, gangliosides, play key roles in nervous system function. There is a special type of lipid known as myelin. This myelin forms myelin sheaths in certain nerve fibers known as myelinated nerve fibers. Presence of myelin accelerates the rate of nerve impulse transmission through the process of saltation, which means that the nerve impulses jump from one node of Ranvier to another instead of linearly traveling throughout the length of the nerve fiber, thereby increasing the speed of nerve transmission along the myelinated nerve fibers. Substrates for other products. Some lipids form substrates for generation of other compounds. For example, cholesterol is a substrate during production of several other important molecules such as vitamin D. Emulsification function. Some lipids, for example bile salts, act as emulsifying agents and facilitate the digestion and absorption of lipids and fats. Receptors. Some lipids in the form of glycolipids act as receptors of hormones and other ligands. Cell walls of bacteria. Certain lipids are components of cell walls in some bacteria. Fat-soluble vitamins and hormones. Fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K are essential nutrients with important physiological functions, and these compounds are related to the broad class of Lipids. Enzyme cofactors. Some lipids act as enzyme cofactors, for example, coenzyme Q in electron transport chain. Antioxidant action of lipids. Certain lipids act as antioxidants, protecting the body against reactive oxygen species. Vision. A kind of lipid known as retinal, which is present in the eye, is involved in the perception of vision. That is, they allow us to have the sense of sight. Membrane fluidity. Cholesterol, as mentioned earlier, when present in the membrane, enhances both the resilience and flexibility of the membrane. Signal transduction. Many lipids play very important roles in signal transduction. For example, phosphatidyl inositol, PI, is involved in major signal transduction pathways in the body. Reception of pain and causation of inflammation. Prostaglandins are kind of lipids which are known as local hormones that mediate the production of pain and causation of inflammation. Conclusions. In today's session, we have learned about various types of lipid aggregates such as micelles, reverse micelles, liposomes, and lipid bilayers. We also discussed the biochemistry of biological membranes. Finally, we had a detailed look at the manifold aspects of biological importance of lipids. We fondly hope that you had a good conceptual grasp of these important biochemical themes and would use them as foundations for further learning. Happy learning ahead in the days to come. Thank you.